Let's go over the syllabus together. This is Art 213, which is our non-Western course, and it is spring 2021. It is an online course, but our meeting slot is Thursdays 1 through roughly 4 o'clock. That's the time slot when we will be having the Zoom meetings that we have. Right now, that would be limited to 3 review sessions before each one of our tests or quizzes. My name is Jane Yantz. I am the instructor for the course. This is how to reach me. This is my PAFA email, and this is my cell number. Please feel free to use it for calls or texts. When you do reach out to me, please also identify yourself as a PAFA student, particularly if it's a text, and a student in my Art History 213 class. The textbook for the course is Art Beyond the West, 3rd edition, and it was written by Mr. Michael O'Reilly, an Irishman who is writing about world art. I do recommend it highly. I think you're going to need it because we are using an online format, and although the talkies are going to be giving you some assistance with replacing lectures, I think you really will need the textbook to help you get through the course successfully. In addition to that, of course, you need suggested web sources. You need Canvas for course content. I'm also suggesting for those of you who are interested to check out the museum collections, either online or in person if COVID is allowing us to do that, at places like Princeton and Penn, at the Met, and also at the Philadelphia Museum of Art. The first 3 have particularly rich collections in non-Western art. Course objectives and goals. Art 213 is an introduction to the study of world art or art beyond the West. It will cover art, culture, and beliefs, and that would primarily be religion, but also aesthetics and values in general, cultural values, from India, China, Japan, sub-Saharan Africa, the Americas, that would be North, South, and Meso or Middle America, and the Islamic world, art and civilization from Islamic portions of our globe. Lectures and discussions will cover major artworks, archaeological sites, and cultures from around the globe, both ancient and modern. So the course is going to span a significant portion of time. This course also provides an introduction to the history and development of world cultures, including the sacred texts or oral traditions, archaeology, and geography of the folks we will be studying. It would just, for example, be impossible to talk about Islam without discussing the Quran, the holy book of Islam. This course is intended to broaden appreciation of other cultures and their contributions to our shared heritage. It's also a journey through the sacred landscape as humans strive to create philosophical systems that frame and guide their lives, often using art and architecture as fundamental forms of expression. Enjoy. This is a course that I very much enjoy teaching, and I hope you enjoy learning the material with me. Grading. Students will be graded on the following. We're going to have weekly assignments and discussion postings. You do need to check Canvas on a weekly basis and to check Canvas for due dates. And each week you will be doing an assignment, and most of the weeks you will be doing a discussion posting as well. Each week will also have a very short quiz, and ultimately at the end of each section, major section in the course, we will have an essay test. Participation in course work, which does include Zoom reviews, and right now I'm anticipating one before each essay test, will count toward a subjective discussion grade, which reflects the general effort students are putting into the course and appears in addition to objective scores in Canvas. Ask me at any time if you have questions about grades. I'd be happy to discuss them with you and maybe make suggestions about the best way you can go for finishing the course successfully. Grades do follow a traditional 10-point spread, just for example, based on a 100-point essay, for instance. A equals 90 to 100, B equals 80 to 90, and so forth. At the bottom of the page, I have a work of art we will be seeing later. It's a Hopewell pipe. It comes from North America, and we will be focusing on the importance of smoking within Native American traditions and the way in which the smoke, for example, can be used as an offering or a connection with the divine. At the top of the second page of your syllabus, there is an asante, also known as Ashante, a gold weight from Africa. We're going to be taking a look at these amazing objects that really come out of oral tradition. They are going to be very important for helping to maintain social values. And they're also kind of cool little objects to look at. This is our tentative class schedule that will give you an idea of what we're planning to cover this semester. It is subject to change based upon opportunities that might show up as we move through the course, or sometimes in response to the feedback that my students give me. But this is the plan, basically. This is the game plan. And each of these weeks is going to correspond to a course folder or course module that you will find in PAFA inside the Canvas course that we have available. And let me just go now to the next page. This is page 3. For those of you who are interested in extra credit, there is an opportunity that I have included in the syllabus, and it is the chance to select 2 non-Western cultures that interest you. Just for example, at the beginning here, Aztec and Inca. Could be any that interest you. These are just suggestions, samples, to give you an idea of how this would work. And once you have your 2 cultures, any cultures that interest you, then you should select a shared theme from the list below. And the reason that I like this assignment is it gets people to think about universal themes that are shared by cultures across the globe from 30,000 BC to the present. We still create images that display these themes. Just for example, at the top of the list, nature, of course, that's a subject for art. Animals, of course, that's another subject for art. Power, propaganda, or images of authority. I think they will probably remain with us as subjects of art and architecture as well throughout human history. The list is a long one, and in general, I think it provides you with a good opportunity to find something that might be easy to investigate in the 2 cultures that you've picked. Okay, then what I'm asking you to do for the extra credit is select one work of art from each of your 2 cultures that fits the theme you have selected. In other words, you're going to find a work of art displaying the theme that you have selected. Let's say it's an animal. That's not going to be hard to do. So you could get an example from the Aztecs, an example from the Inca, and then you're going to make a meaningful comparison. If you get to the point of doing extra credit or wishing to do extra credit, drop me an email, and let's talk about what you have in mind, what you want to do, and why you want to do it. And perhaps I can give you a little bit more concrete direction in addition to what you find in the syllabus. I think we're on page 4 now. On this page, I have some pictures. The 2 at the top are both offerings of incense. The one on the left is Buddhist. It's a Buddhist individual practitioner making an offering of the incense itself, but also I'd like you to see the smoke that's rising from the incense. This is a good place to remind you of the image of the Native American pipe that we just looked at. The idea of offering, of burning something up, of using it up as an offering, and having the smoke rise to the heavens or rise to the skies, it's a fairly universal tradition. What we're going to find throughout the semester is even though we are studying diverse peoples at diverse times in history around the globe, that there are many commonalities, things that are going to be shared that are basic and important to everyone. In the middle of the page, I have a reminder about homework. It is important to keep up with weekly course content, which is available for only 2 weeks. So, what you need to do is set aside, and I'm estimating 3 hours a week for this course, which is about the time you would spend in the classroom. If we were doing face to face, that's what you would be doing. So, it's important that you actually put that in your calendar or put that in your schedule so that you can keep up with the course and not only succeed in it in terms of getting a decent grade, but also take away from it something that you will remember that will be useful to you in your career. At the bottom of the page, I have a couple amulets, and again, I'm going to suggest universally shared, a notion of small objects that are usually portable that can be carried that either help the individual relate to the divine or perhaps actually provide some kind of protection or strength coming directly from the divine. Most of you are familiar. Let me start with this. This is a Christian medal, and it comes from Spain. It's an object that I got in Santo Domingo de la Calzada, which is a pilgrimage village or city along the pilgrimage routes. So it is Christian, but it also specifically today is Catholic. Next to it are three amulets that I acquired in China, and these are Buddhist amulets. And then next to them are Shinto amulets, and those come from Japan. Again, another example of something that seems to be fairly universal, I'm going to suggest, providing with the owners of the amulets with a kind of sense of comfort and connection. And I think the connection is important in the possession of an amulet. The next few pages of our syllabus contain projected works of art for the course. We will probably not cover them all, but it gives you a rough idea of what I would like to cover. Particularly, it's easier to cover more in the classroom than it is online. And that is part of the reason I would like you to let me know what your interests are and if there's anything in particular that you have the strong feeling that you need to see in the course. As you can see, we are going to be covering all of the major cultural areas: India, China, Japan, Africa, and the Americas along the way to finishing our course. And that is going to include some modern works along the way. And my last slide in the syllabus, image in the syllabus, is an Islamic tile. We will be starting with Islam, and one of the things that we will be looking at closely is the geometric qualities of their artwork and the reasons for the love of abstraction. Do enjoy the material this semester.